#1 primetime newscast, Fox 4 News at 10.
It is the first time of me hearing about it in 13 years of serving on council and now as mayor.
A call controversy brewing between Fort Myers and the Lee County Sheriff's Office. The sheriff claiming his office is handling too many of the city's emergency calls. Hi, I'm Patrick Nolan.
And I'm Emily Dishno. The sheriff voicing his concerns just 2 months before city voters decide whether Fort Myers police should be dissolved and absorbed into the sheriff's office.
For In Your Corner's Gabrielle Saran bringing you both sides of this story. Gabrielle?
Patrick, the sheriff has never been shy about calling out Fort Myers police for past issues, and now he's doing it again. But city officials say not so fast. The city pays the sheriff's office to cover its back. Both the sheriff's office and city police each have their own dispatch centers. But when the city gets more calls than it can handle, they roll over to the sheriff's office.
911, what is your emergency?
Sheriff Scott says these days more than 40 calls a day are rolling over to his agency.
It's just emphasizing the fact that these are 911 calls in the city that are not being answered.
In this memo obtained by Fox 4, the sheriff outlines his concerns to county and city leaders. He says so far this year, nearly 10,000 911 calls from within the city have been answered by sheriff's office operators, averaging 41 calls a day. Of those, he points out, about 7 require a deputy response.
I want them to understand that we're also carrying some other water as well.
I caught up with Police Chief Doug Baker at City Hall. He says the numbers the sheriff gave him seem high, and he plans to review them. Meanwhile, I asked the mayor and a councilman about it.
I've been on council 15 years, but I've never seen that many calls actually listed and actually being tagged and presented to us.
Would you consider 41 calls a day a lot?
I don't know what to measure that against.
As for the sheriff's claims, it's affecting his office.
It's significant. I mean, we're talking about 40 plus calls a day.
That takes away manpower from LCSO if they're answering the phones.
Yeah, that's what they're there for. And our taxpayers in the city of Fort Myers pay for that service.
The question now, is there a limit to that service? The sheriff points out his office doesn't have an option if they get too many calls.
We don't have anybody to roll over to.
And the city manager is asking the police chief to check his call numbers against the sheriff's. He says he expects those figures promptly. Gabrielle Saran, Fox 4, in your corner.